Manuals or automatics? It's kind of like Messi or Ronaldo if you really think about it, because the only answer to this question is it genuinely depends, because it depends on the car, it depends on the type of person you are, and it depends on what you actually want from your car, right? For example, when you are talking about the car chat, it depends on what you want your car to do, because some of us just want to go from point A to point B and back, or maybe even go to point C somewhere there, chill a bit, and then come back to point A, like a cruiser, if you will, a car that can just flow. And here's where the second part comes in. It depends on you, the person, because I know a lot of people watching this video are probably car enthusiasts, or at least people that do like cars and do like manual transmissions and shifting gears, which is great. Like, and I'm talking about like this in an enthusiast standpoint, right? I don't understand why car enthusiasts dislike automatics. Like, I genuinely don't. Like, I love the DCT. I would much rather have a DCT if it is an option than to have a manual transmission, especially like in a i30N or in a GTI. But the roads do get reversed if we're going upper in the budget. For example, like let's say a Porsche 911 GTS or something, I don't know. If I was given the option to buy a Porsche, I would much rather have a Porsche 911 with a manual transmission. I know the PDK is cool, it sounds cool, it shifts really fast, but I don't really care about that. I don't care about shifts. The main reason why I love DCT is because I like the way DCT sound, like the crack on the downshift and the crack on the upshift. Here in the south of Africa, we call Ushandis vrpa, especially down there in South Africa. I'm not South African, but lots of Namibian culture and South African culture. We share a lot of culture, especially in the automotive scene. And automatics and manuals have their place in society. And I don't think we should be like, say one is better than the other, right? Because it also does depend on the car, because there are some great cars that have horrible manual transmissions. I'm talking about that guy, the clutch feeling like bubble gum, the manual transmission feeling like stirring soup. And there are those cars that have like amazing cars, but they have shitty automatics, especially like older vehicles, like older car automatics. I don't know if you guys have realized this, or maybe it's just a me thing, but older car automatics suck. Like, even Volkswagen's DCTs suck, honestly, at least in low speeds, because like once you are actually moving, it actually does iron out, and it's actually a really good transmission. But a DCT, for example, especially the ones in the Golf 6, because I can only speak on that because that's the only car that I've driven with a DCT, and also Polos. But those cars, basically the DCT is very jerky, and the DCT is always like second guessing itself. When you're actually moving, it's great, but a manual, the most modern manual I've driven, that wasn't like an agriculture type vehicle or like a bakkie. A bakkie is like a pickup truck, or besides like, I don't know, a bakkie or something, or besides like a pickup truck, the only modern manual I've driven was like a Kia Rio from like 2019, and I can't lie, that thing's automatic, that thing's manual was great when you are actually moving. In the beginning it sucked because the biting point was damn near not existent. Then that's it, the biting point was just damn near not existent. And when this car stalled, it doesn't like indicate that it's stalled, because it's, I don't know, maybe the engine has a small displacement, or I don't know, but the car just off, and you won't even know it's off. You're going to accelerator, the car is not moving, and the car stalled, and you would never know that. And that's why, me personally, if I was to get an automatic or manual, it genuinely just depends on the car, right? If it's a shitty, cheap car, a shit box, if you will, I'd much rather get a manual shit box, cheaper to own and maintain, and are more reliable, and also easier to drive. Driving a shitty manual, driving an old manual is low-key easier than driving a new manual right now. And that's just a me thing though. I'm not like, that's just my perspective or what I've experienced. Maybe you guys that have experienced something different may comment down below, but in my opinion, older manuals are better than older automatics. The vice versa is true for new manuals, because from my experience, new manuals, I wouldn't say they suck, but they feel very I wouldn't say artificial, but I don't know how to explain it, but new manuals just feel very automated. Yeah, that's the word. They feel very automated. Like the clutch, for example, the car doesn't vibrate anymore. Or like from my experience, I don't feel the clutch vibrate when you're at the biting point anymore. In an older car I used to, modern cars I didn't. Like I remember I drove a Baki, the Baki I was talking about. Even that, it was like an agriculture spec vehicle, but a newer agriculture spec vehicle, right? It was a 2-liter VVTi it was a 2-liter VVTi, right? Like this one on the screen. This is like, it's like an agriculture vehicle, but like a slightly upmarket agriculture vehicle, if you will. Bro, you can't feel this thing's biting point, right? And this is a petrol. If it was a diesel, then it will be okay, because like if the car is moving even slightly, you can get off the clutch, the car wouldn't switch off. Petrols are just harsh when it comes to manual transmissions. Like they're not as forgiving as diesel manuals, in my opinion, or like from what I've driven. So yeah, that's just how I feel about it. So in the grand scheme of things, if I was to pick between an automatic and a manual, it generally just depends on the car, bro. Like especially like if I'm driving like a SUV, like a modern day SUV from like a luxury brand. Like I know this might just sound like common sense, but like imagine if a Range Rover made a SVR with a manual transmission. I mean, that would sound cool. It does sound cool on paper, but it doesn't genuinely make sense. Or imagine a Range Rover Discovery, like a base model Discovery. I mean, Discoveries are shit, but imagine that having a manual transmission. That would be shit times 2, because Range Rover will find a way to make luxury in a way, and that will just, I won't say defeat the purpose, but like it will just mess everything up. I mean, Mercedes tried to do that. Mercedes used to make manuals like, not even used to. Mercedes made manuals up till the 2010s at least, from my understanding, because they made the W204 Mercedes C-Class. You could get that with a manual, and from what I've seen and heard and like experienced, those things, manuals are very gooey, Bryce. Like Mercedes tried to make a manual luxury and that just messes everything up. So in my opinion, I think automatics are better than manuals. Depending on the car. If the car is cheap, manual better than automatic. If the car is like, you know, a bit better or a bit more premium or like a bit nicer, then then the automatic will be better than the manual. If you're a car enthusiast, me personally, I think I'd rather have like a clapped out Honda Civic type type car, you know, with a manual transmission. I'd rather have that on the side, and then maybe have like my SUV that's like that's an automatic or something. Or if you, I don't know, but just find the balance between the two, right? Because like, let's say if you only had one car, and again, it also depends on the person, right? Some people that aren't even car enthusiasts prefer manuals over automatics. Like I have an auntie, bro, she doesn't give a damn about cars, right? And she drives a manual. Like she loves manuals. She swears by manuals. All her cars were all manuals. And I have another auntie, she also doesn't care about cars, and all her cars were automatic, you see. So it also just generally does depend, but that's more of like a general standpoint, like in car owners in general. Coming back to like the car enthusiast aspect, I think it's better to have like two cars that can scratch both itches for you, because imagine having like a manual car and you have to go deal with traffic. I've never experienced that. Okay, I've kind of experienced that like a little bit. It wasn't even that crazy. It was like 15 minutes of traffic and my leg hurt, right? My feet was in pain. My right arm was in shambles because the gearbox was also fucked up. But like, my point still stands, bro. You'll have back pain before you turn 40. Whereas if you have an automatic, you know, you just put that B in D, you're in traffic, that's cool. You're out of traffic, you're on highway, you just go, you have to stop, you stop, and that's cool. But then let's say it's a Saturday, the air is immaculate, the sun is out, the birds are chirping, you grab the keys to your manual sports car, or not even, it doesn't even have to be a sports car, maybe a manual economy car or manual car, or like, I don't know, a car that you love, like a passion car almost. Like maybe even a GR86. I'm gonna make a video on the GR86 and why it's such a cool car in a minute. But like you grab your keys to, you know, something that's a manual, something that's cool, and then you just drive. Like, you know, you enjoy the driving experience. And I think that's just how we should deal with this manual or automatic thing. Case in point, my opinion, between automatics and manuals, me personally, automatics are better than manuals, but it generally does depend on you, and we should just respect each other regardless of the decision we make, because at the end of the day they all just do the same thing. It's just that one is automated and one is not automated. But yeah, if you did enjoy watching this video, please leave a like in this video. I'm just making videos for the sake of making videos at this point. I used to be a perfectionist and like script my videos and make sure they're like point perfect. I think right now the only time I'll script a video is if I'm like, I don't know, if I'm like making a video that has facts in it, but if it doesn't have facts, then I don't think I have to script it. Like some videos are just me giving out my opinion on cars, and that's all I want this channel to be, just me giving my opinion on cars. And if you want to hear my opinion, you can please leave a like and subscribe down below. If you don't give a shit about my opinion, which is valid, I am not entitled to your attention. You can dislike the video and dip. But regardless, thank you for making it this far, if you made it this far, and have a lovely rest of your day.